So Elizabeth Swaney, candidate for mayor. The election is April 15th. We have 8 candidates who are vying for the position of mayor here in Oakland. And I shared with you earlier, had a chance to hear you speak at the forum this past weekend. So excited to get a chance to interview you today. We're here representing the Brotherhood of Elders Network, which is an intergenerational organization of African American men, started right here in Oakland. One of the efforts we try to do is make sure our community stays civically engaged, and so these interviews will allow us to share your information and your vision with Oakland voters. And so to get us started, Elizabeth, share a little bit about yourself, how you got into public service and politics.
Well, first, thanks for the opportunity to be here, and it's been great learning more about the Brotherhood of Elders Network, and grateful to share more with members and people outside that might be watching this video as well. So about myself, I was born just a few miles away, grew up in Oakland, started my education at Oakland Public Schools, and I've always been grateful to Oakland for giving me a sense of resourcefulness and a sense of hard work and dedication. I feel like Oakland needs a champion. Oakland needs an Olympian. I'm an Olympic athlete, so I want to bring back what I've learned and kind of give back to the city that gave back so much, or has given me so much throughout my life.
That's interesting. So you were an Olympian. Could you just share a little bit about that experience as an Olympic athlete, and then how does that translate to your skill set as a potential mayor of Oakland?
Right, so when I was 7, I decided I wanted to be an Olympic athlete. I was watching the Winter Olympics in skating, so my parents allowed me to do one short skating lesson a week at Berkeley, Iceland. So I did that throughout much of my childhood, and then ended up going to Oakland Ice Center when that opened as well, and Berkeley, Iceland shut down. I ended up learning how to ski as an adult. Didn't really have that opportunity growing up, but because of what I learned about just kind of being resourceful, going for your dreams in Oakland, and everything, I took 4 to 5 part-time jobs at the same time while I was in Utah, actually pursuing that Olympic dream, and ended up making it to the Olympics in 2018. So a lot of people think, okay, it's impossible to be for example, a ski Olympic athlete unless you've skied your whole life. And I didn't really have that opportunity in Oakland, but I was able to transfer what I had learned playing soccer in Oakland growing up and doing PE classes in elementary and middle school, and just kind of the skating that I was grateful to do. I transferred that into just being on the mountain. I became a ski instructor. That kind of funded my way to get a ski pass, and did everything I could to be an Olympian, and made it in 2018. So I was working, just so hard to afford coaching and training, and made it. So I want to kind of share what I've learned in the resourcefulness with Oaklanders, and hopefully inspire them. So many people kind of have inspired me growing up in the Bay Area, and I just love inspiring others and want to continue that inspiration.
Thank you. And what is it you love about Oakland?
What is it I love about Oakland? I just love how much soul Oakland has, and how much diversity Oakland has, how resilient Oaklanders are. I feel like I'm a very resilient person, and I get that almost 100% from being raised in Oakland. I'm a person that doesn't give up, and I want to kind of pass that along to Oaklanders, that we have a goal of just being even a stronger city. So I want to pass it along to people in Oakland.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that answer.
Yeah.
I love Oakland too. And as I've listened to other candidates, they all express affection for Oakland and commitment to Oakland and what Oakland has done for them. And we're coming to a place where, the city needs a lot of attention and a lot of support. So what makes you the right person at this time to be mayor of Oakland?
I believe I'm a champion for Oakland. I have gone through a lot of difficult situations in my life, working several part-time jobs to try to achieve a dream. I feel like that really resonates with a lot of Oaklanders. A lot of Oaklanders have several jobs, and they're trying to raise a family or achieve a dream of their own. So I've been through a lot in terms of different experiences, and I believe I can overcome obstacles and turn those into solutions. I'm a fresh face relatively in politics. I don't have a political party affiliation, so I feel like I enjoy connecting with people regardless of who they are, where they come from, or what their political views are. I'm someone that can build bridges with people and build bridges with different communities. I grew up in a bilingual English-Spanish household in Oakland. My mother's from South America and dad's from California, so I always grew up with an appreciation and understanding of different cultures, different languages in Oakland, and I feel like that's something that's really strong in Oakland, makes Oakland unique. So I have firsthand experience of kind of what it's like to just learn about different communities, different cultures in Oakland, and that's necessary for someone that wants to lead in Oakland.
Definitely. The city needs a bridge builder, as you mentioned. Oakland mayor has to be able to count to 5, right? We have 8 city council members across the dais, and for anything to pass, at least 5 of them have to agree. And not only building bridges locally, it's going to have to be statewide, federally, but I'm curious to know, where are you at in terms of your relationships with current city council members? Have you had any chances to engage with them? And how do you see working with the council to enact your agenda if you're successful as this run for mayor?
Yeah, so one exciting story I'd like to share. I was just walking down the street about a month ago, and we'd actually never met in person, but I thought I recognized Zach Unger about half a block away, and he seemed to kind of recognize me. And he walked 5 feet in front of me and said, "Oh, you're running for mayor of Oakland, right?" So, and this was about a month ago, before a lot of the candidate forums. So I thought it was really neat that a city council member recognized me, especially a new city council member, and we chatted for a little bit. So I feel like I already, it's cool to be already recognized by some city council members. I've attended some city council meetings in City Hall, and I've tried to, connect with as many people as possible. I know you interviewed with Zach recently as well, so I'm trying to, just get to know as many people in Oakland as I can. At the same time, I am a fresh face in Oakland politics. I think that's a really good benefit to have, because Oakland needs fresh ideas, fresh solutions at the same time, and someone that maybe doesn't necessarily have alliances with certain groups or unions or political parties. I feel like people will be receptive to someone new with fresh ideas that's willing to listen to many different voices.
Thank you. Oakland is a very diverse city. We have seen over the last decade some flight into the suburbs. We've lost some of our communities of color, or at least citizens who were here in Oakland. Large African American population comparatively, a very large Spanish-speaking contingent. As you mentioned, you speak Spanish in your home. How do you see connecting with and investing in the communities of color as mayor?
So one way that I'm currently involved in communities of color is through stand-up comedy and in the entertainment industry. Stand-up comedy is a very diverse arena, and I've been grateful to have been a part of it and continue to be a part of it in the Bay Area. So that, I think, through entertainment, that's one channel to connect with communities of color. I also grew up going to Oakland public schools, and diversity was around me the entire time. So that's always a priority to me. I'm trying to get to know as many groups as I can. I'm so grateful to be here at Brotherhood of Elders Network and learn about different organizations. So I'm just trying to talk to as many groups, people in different districts as I can, and just listen more and really understand what people need and want and how to best serve them. So those are definitely priorities for me. My mother, I mentioned, is from South America. She's also a Spanish, English interpreter and translator all around Oakland. So I understood from a very early age, okay, this is what's happening in the Spanish-speaking community of Oakland, and this is what is happening in other communities of Oakland as well. I've always kind of been surrounded by a variety of different groups of people, and I think that's what makes Oaklanders strong. There's so much creativity around us, so we really need to kind of embrace that and uplift all these amazing voices.
Thank you. With the political climate nationally, as it's shifting and kind of national political priorities seem to be changing, local politics and local government seems to me to become more important, right? We have citizens and members of Oakland who may be hesitant to divulge their immigration status or where they work, just based on what's happening nationally. So how do you see making sure that Oaklanders have a voice and are connected to local government? How would you make sure you stay connected to Oakland citizens as mayor?
How would I stay connected to Oakland citizens as mayor? I think that's a really exciting opportunity, just because there's so many, for example, different languages spoken in Oakland, different cultures. When people talk about Oakland, they talk about going to a variety of different restaurants of representing kind of different countries in Oakland. So Oakland, like the worldliness of Oakland is one of the things that makes Oakland special. And I'll continue to embrace that however I can by just talking to different groups in the community. I love just exploring different parts of Oakland, from kind of the waterfront to Jack London Square to like downtown Oakland to North Oakland, like South Oakland, beyond. There's so many amazing parts of Oakland, and I believe like immigrants are part of what makes Oakland special. And even if one person isn't an immigrant, maybe their parent was or grandparent was, and that kind of is what makes the U.S. Really interesting as a whole. Like, this is a country of immigrants that, if we weren't an immigrant, some of our ancestors probably were immigrants in the recent past.
You know, Oakland is facing some very tough budget challenges. There are some issues around raising revenue, kind of decreasing spending, but we also have a partner in the county, right? And so how do you see the county's role in terms of helping out Oakland in terms of the budget challenges we face, and where are there opportunities to partner with the county?
Right, so I understand Alameda County is sometimes thought of as like in a better, stronger position than Oakland. So I think that's something great that we can look forward to and partner with. So it's great that we have a county that has these resources. Also, in terms of the budget in Oakland, I don't think as much as Oakland has a budget problem as an imagination problem. I think there needs to be creative ways to raise revenue in Oakland rather than making cuts. So someone with like creative ideas of raising revenue, for example, selling city naming rights and using underutilized land in Oakland for just creative development, having innovation and tech hubs in Oakland. I think those can be really creative ways to generate revenue in Oakland, and that'll make Oakland stronger on its own, and partnering with the county as well will also help us move forward.
You know, it's estimated that about $100 million of the city budget is federal funds. And as I mentioned, there's been some changing perspectives and the winds have been shifting in at the national level. But how do you see our relationship with the federal government, and where do you see opportunities to partner to secure funds that are here and potentially even bring in new dollars?
I think there's a lot of opportunities with the federal government. I think there's opportunities with the state of California as well, and especially me being someone that's relatively new in politics and someone that's willing to communicate with different political parties and so many different people. I think there's a lot of opportunities to have the federal funding we need, but we shouldn't rely on just federal funding. Oakland should be stronger on its own and have creative sources of revenue, and also move forward kind of on its own and not have to rely on kind of the state or federal government for so much necessarily. So I think by just having strategic partnerships with the federal government and the state, and also being stronger on its own financially, Oakland can really benefit from that.
And what are your budget priorities for Oakland? I appreciate you saying, you know, we need to be strong, independent of the federal government, as well as being able to partner and leverage that relationship. So where do you see your budget priorities lying in this time of budget reductions that we're facing?
I think, there's so many different priorities to so many different people. I know that a common theme and a priority for me is like public safety in Oakland, and just making sure schools are funded is another priority. Summer camps are kind of extension of schools as well. Infrastructure also is a priority in Oakland, essential city services too, and just making sure people kind of feel safe in Oakland and are safe in Oakland, and that we have the infrastructure we need, that kids are educated in Oakland, and there's a whole list after that as well. So I would definitely prioritize those and just continue to have conversations and attend city council meetings, listen to people about what priorities they have with like the budget in Oakland and funding different programs.
And so there's been a narrative around the last 5 years or so, both locally and nationally, that crime rates are going up. As we look at the data doesn't quite match that narrative. We've seen crime rates going down, primarily violent crimes. And so as you prepare to address the budget and align your priorities, how much of your priority lies with increasing the number of police officers around public safety, and how much of your priorities lie around supporting community services to ensure public safety?
So I think we need to have smarter public safety mechanisms in place, and then smarter policing. A lot of people focus on, either more or less or the same policing, but I think there just needs to be smarter systems in place. And part of that, it goes along with having more communication with police officers and the police officer union, also having more communication with communities and community watch groups and public safety groups that are not necessarily police related as well, and determining how like each group views the city, what's important to people, just talking to people on the street. I've just campaigning for mayor, learning about different people's priorities. 9 out of every 10 times it's public safety in Oakland, but everyone has a different view of what public safety is. And a mayor cannot get a comprehensive view unless they talk to as many people as possible about what public safety is to them. A big part of that is reducing 911 wait times. At the same time, we do need to raise probably the number of officers that are in Oakland for a city of around like 450,000 or so. Oakland only has 650 officers. So that's like very small for a city this size. So that does need to be increased in a smarter way. I did apply to be a police officer twice in Oakland, 2023 and 2024. I was told that I was ranked number 1 after the interview and agility test both times, but told that I probably wouldn't move forward for administrative reasons. And I wanted to serve Oaklanders, also serve as a bridge to like the Spanish-speaking community in Oakland. So I thought, I know that there's enough, I believe that there's enough candidates applying to Oakland that want to become police officers that represent our diverse community, but unfortunately they aren't moving forward because the process is pretty long, extensive, actually expensive as well. If someone wants to be a police officer, someone needs to pay $1,000 on day 1 for the uniform, and it's a very extensive process that requires a lot of days, taking off work to interview, et cetera. So I was a technical recruiter for 7 years and a non-technical recruiter as well. I help people get into jobs. I have a service-oriented background. I've worked at Starbucks. I've worked at Zachary's Pizza in Oakland as well, and I want to continue to serve Oakland. I think a big part of that is public safety as well. So I know I can figure out ways to streamline the police officer hiring process. At the same time, I can't do that without having extensive conversations with police officers and figuring out what current police officers need, and also community groups learning, okay, here are scenarios where we might need policing and scenarios where we might not need policing, or we can have maybe mental health crisis groups intervene instead.
So I appreciate you saying you're a fresh face right, to politics, and that's definitely a plus. In the race are 7 other candidates, a former congresswoman, a former city council member. So talk to the voters about how you differentiate yourself and why you're the best candidate in the field.
Yeah, first of all, I think it's exciting that there's so many candidates in the field and so many different kind of personalities, and just at all the forums and interviews that I've either seen or been to, you can just hear people's passion, hear these candidates' passion about Oakland. I'm someone that can build bridges between communities. I feel like I bring a positive perspective to Oakland. I'm a stand-up comedian as well, so I want to bring a little bit more of a sense of humor into Oakland, and I think that I'm someone that can really champion Oakland on like a local level, state level, federal level. I am an Olympian myself, and I know what it takes to kind of do hard things on a world stage, and I want to bring that to Oakland.
Thank you. And this is a special election, so the winner of the election will serve out the remainder of the mayoral term. If you were successful in this special election, do you see yourself running for a full term as mayor?
I would consider that, but right now I just kind of want to focus on things like day by day and what I would do in the remaining term as mayor. I'm not a career politician. I want to serve in Oakland as best as I can for the 1.5 year or so term, and then focus on things after that. And I believe like that's a question that I would have to think about more when in office, hopefully.
That's fair. And so, kind of rephrasing that question, you're successful in this special election. You are voted in as the mayor of Oakland for a short stint. What do you see as your legacy in that short time? What would you want to be remembered for as mayor of Oakland?
I would want to be remembered for bringing more positivity, more humor in Oakland, also just uplifting different underrepresented groups in Oakland, bringing back like more arts and culture, highlighting more arts and culture in Oakland. I have like a filmmaking, stunt, comedy background, so definitely want to support arts and culture in Oakland. Also just highlight public safety in Oakland, make that a priority, make sure Oakland public schools are well funded, and Oakland summer camps are fully funded. I think those would be priorities, just making sure education, public safety, infrastructure, the arts, and there's more on the list as well. So just doing what I can to make Oakland even a more like positive place and a stronger place as well.
Well, on behalf of the Brotherhood of Elders Network, I want to thank you for making the time to come speak with us. Thank you for heeding the call and responding when we reached out. We want to make sure that we're here for you. So if you are in need of information from us, or you want to reach out to us, you can expect us to respond. And we hope that this is just the beginning, and we can build a relationship with you where if we need to rely on you and reach out, that you'd be responsive still. So thank you again on behalf of the Brotherhood of Elders Network.
Definitely love that. Thank you.